Hello and welcome. First of all, let me address anyone coming in on the replay. If you're joining me on the replay, put replay in the comment section and state your name and where you're from so I get a chance to know who you are. That also tells me that there's some value going on or you wouldn't be here, right? You might like what you're getting from me, so that helps me to know that. And if you are someone who is coming in live for the first time, put your name down and make a comment. And let me encourage you to make comments also on things that you like what you hear, or retype something I've said that you think is of value that needs to be repeated. That's how you can help everyone who's listening and coming in to the lives. So I want to thank you for being here and let you know that my name is Karlyn, aka the Biz Pro. And I'm coming to you to share with you tips and strategies and things that will help better your life when it comes to connecting the dots for network marketing and for sales and training and working with you and or your groups, giving you things of value that I hope that you'll be able to carry out and carry on and make your job easier. So, excuse me, let me address a few things. I want to kind of do a little bit of housekeeping. You know, a friend of mine said, gosh, you have so many things in your head that most of us have always probably forgotten. And what I want to do is, I do want to bring such value that in wanting to do that, sometimes I bring so much that I don't know if you're getting what's important to you. So I want to see that. That's what I get out of those comments, is what you like or what you might want to hear about or learn more on how to master in our industry. So I look for your feedback. That's important. And so making comments and stuff like that is really important. So don't just come and sit and take and walk away. Give a little back for the time that there are people like myself that want to bring knowledge and power of what they have and share it with you, and you get it absolutely free, right? Just for a little investment of time. So giving back is a good thing. Okay, now in wanting to give you so much knowledge, what I'd like to do is just kind of focus in little bits and keep it short so that I value your time, so you don't have to spend a lot of time, because there's a lot of us that have some good stuff to share. So I figure if I give you a little bit of what I have and you get a little bit from everybody, there might be something you're really grasping that you need that you can use. So I want to talk about today stinking thinking. A lot of times we go through life and the things that we're trying to learn, we sometimes get in our own way because we have developed what's called stinking thinking. Have you ever sat and thought, if I do this, oh, they're probably going to think that. And if I do this, they're going to think this. So what happens is you think they're thinking what you think they're thinking when they're not thinking that at all, right? Is that amazing? That's called stinking thinking. And you know, there's a way that we got there sometimes, and I'm going to kind of dive in, because to tell you what's wrong is great, but let me tell you how it happened and then how you have the power to change it. First of all, I want you to know that there's programming that goes on. We're all born and we come into this world and we're kind of like a baby vessel, right? We don't have any garbage fed to us. And then we have people who have gone through life and have garbage fed to them, and they begin to feed garbage to us. And that's what starts to happen. And then somebody else's belief system starts to become your belief system. And before you know it, you're told things like, get down off that chair. If you try to stand up, you'll fall down and break your neck, right? Or you hear, if you do that, you're going to lose an arm or lose a limb, or don't climb. So you learn at a young age, don't strive, don't climb, don't reach, don't stretch. Because if you do, you probably will fail, is the message that you're getting. Now your subconscious starts to hear those things and it starts to suck it in and it starts to believe it. Because what we're told in our brain is what we start to receive. So the power is that you have the power to reprogram your own mind, your own brain, and the way you think. And watch how we've been given double messages. How about this? You've been told, don't talk to strangers, right? So I was sitting in a restaurant and here's this little boy and he's looking and coloring, and the waitress walks up and says, well, aren't you a cute little thing? What's your name? And he tucked his head under his mother's arm. She pulled away. As she pulled away, and she says, answer the nice lady. Well, that's a double message. Gee, don't talk to strangers, but this one's a nice lady. So what message is this kid supposed to truly receive as he's trying to honor what his parents told him to do, right? That's confusion. So we're told these things. So now what happens when people jump into a network marketing business? Well, I want you to talk to strangers. So you're kind of going, huh? And of course, then what develops from that is the fear of the unknown, of how to handle that. So that's another lesson, another thing. I can't possibly teach you all of this in 15 minutes, but I can show you certain things that you have to understand. Programming is crucially important. Watch this. If you put a bucket of crabs in and set them down, what will happen is none of the crabs will climb out of the bucket. Because what happens is, as one crab is trying to get on top of another, on top of another, somebody's grabbing that crab and pulling it down as they think they can get up, and somebody's pulling that crab down. So I want you to know there's people around you in your life that will pull you back and will pull you down. And you have to be aware of the fact that there are those kinds of people around. So when you know that's going to happen and you're trying to climb out for better, you have to understand just human nature, what begins to happen. When you go to a circus and look at these elephants, huge, massive elephants at the zoo or a circus, and they're tied with a rope tethered to their ankle. I've always found that amazing and said, wow, people have probably never given this any thought. But what happens is when they're baby elephants and they have all of the stamina and believe they can do anything, they're tethered with chains. And they pull and they tug and they're cemented into a cement ground area with the chain so that they understand when the more they pull, the more pain it causes, then their legs actually get bloody. Then finally, because it hurts so bad, they finally stop. When they reach that point of accepting, I can't do this, or I can't move, or I can't get out of where I'm at, what happens is they now can control these huge, massive elephants with a simple rope around their, that's why it's happened. It's all taking place up in their mind. And it's really interesting too, just like fleas in a jar. They've shown for a fact that if you had the fleas in a jar and you put a lid on the fleas, do you know that they'll hit the top, hit the top, hit the top. When you take the top of the lid off, the fleas will never jump out because they only believe they can only go so high because of what you've done, what you've put that lid there. Well, people and your life and things that happen are kind of the same way, how it works with us. And here's what happens. As we get older, we develop stinking thinking. And you'll see the youth, they believe they can do anything. They are mighty. And as you get older, you start to believe, I just can't do it all. And you start to settle for that and accept that. But here's where you have to understand. When you look at Watergate, and some people might say, what's that all about? It was blank tape that got Nixon in trouble. So I want you to know that recorder and you've been fed all this stuff and your tape has been played all through life, and when something happens that causes that tape or that event to trigger, those things make you respond by what you've done. So if something makes you angry, it's that cause and effect. So something has happened and boom, you trigger. Now what happens when you trigger is that you just react and you go into that same play mode that you've always done. Watch this. You have the power, especially for anyone over 18, when you are in control of yourself and you start to take responsibility and realize, I have more power than I realized. You have to identify, is this my belief system or somebody else's belief system? What do I really believe? And once you hone in and figure out what your belief system is, what you want to do, and how you would like the perfect outcome, then you can cause and affect that. So what begins to happen is when something happens that causes the old trigger, you just decide, I'm going to change the way I've done that before. I'm not going to let that cause me to do something, I'm going to take responsibility for my actions and responsibility for how I feel. And then what you do is you implement what you've decided to make happen. So if somebody yelling at you would normally cause you to yell back, what you're going to start to do is sit back and defuse the situation in a different manner in how you choose to do it. So you're actually going to now, as the adult, you're going to push your own play button and reprogram your tape every time. So the more you start to do the same things over and over, you start to actually change the cause and effect. You change the way you receive the message. You change the way you outcome with the message. So you have the power to do more than you've ever thought you could do. And you have to realize, I like to say sometimes, you need to get into a no excuse zone. If there are things you want to accomplish and stuff you want to do, then no more excuses. Take responsibility for your actions and for your thoughts, and learn that the only person who can make those changes are you. You know, I can inspire you. I can get you excited. I can help you. Only you can motivate you. So when people say, oh, that person's a great motivational speaker. No, they might inspire you, but motivation comes from within. So it starts with a decision. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you sick and tired of the way things are and you want to change them? Are you working too hard to try to convince others of those excuses are actually real and try to sell them on what really they don't want to believe? Are you ready to make change? So here's a new year. We have the ability to make change, make new decisions, and do new things. And so I want you to know that you have the power. You have greatness within you. You have the power to do that. And you have the power to create the kind of life you actually want to live, not the kind of life you think you're supposed to live, or because you came from, where you came from and what you've been through. That does not make you who you are. That defines you to be the person by how you handle it, defines you to be what you are and what your outcome is. So you have to realize that even though we've all gone through rough stuff in our life, we all have fears that we're working to overcome. There's greatness in all of us if we just decide to take, one, the high road in everything we choose to do. Just think of it in a better fashion. Don't prejudge what that person meant. You know, people don't say what they mean or mean what they say. I go back and I look at some of the lives and I think, oh, I hope I was clear enough that they understood this is what I meant. Not always. It sometimes comes off maybe sounding different than I meant it to be. And that's the power of getting clarification and working on communication and spending more time giving of ourselves and sometimes putting down the other devices so that we actually can keep those walls of great communication and those golden threads of relationship built with one another. It's powerful. And it's something that it's almost becoming a lost art, like handwriting is becoming a lost art. So just a little interjection there. Now listen, I work with individuals and I work with people who want to change and continue to learn. I spent about 20 minutes on the last live that I did. I felt it was long and I thought, gosh, and there was so much. And I said, you know, I wonder if anybody really cares to really achieve their goals and use some of those tips. And I realized, you know, it doesn't even have to be perfect. I'm perfectly imperfect, just as you are. Just write that down. You're perfectly imperfect. And that we all have something to offer. We have something to give. We have something to learn. We need each other. So by the things that we're doing to help better ourselves, isn't it cool to help better other people along the way as well in our journey of life? So I'm hoping that that's what some of what I do and what I have, I can bring to you. You can customize your own training and your own ability. This is a craft of what we do in sales and marketing. And I encourage you to learn the craft about learning about people and learning about what you do so that you realize the value of what you have in your possession. If you need help or clarification, if you want additional free training, because like I said, I can't do it all in a 15-minute session. And I really want to keep my time down on the lives, and I really want you to get something out of it. So make your comments, tell me what you like, tell me what you need, and I'll start paying attention and you start watching. And you know what? Hit the notification button. So if you like some of what you hear and you want the opportunity when you're on Facebook to know, hit that notification button that you want to know when I do go live. Now I'm trying to figure out the best time to go live. These are all new for me. So this is my new part of the world of what I'm bringing myself into, more of the social media technology piece. So, but everything that I have right now to offer is located on callthebizpro.com. You can go there and be a free member just by going to callthebizpro.com. Be a free member and you're notified when you get more free trainings. And I do trainings every Monday night, but we don't necessarily just say, hey, come to the Monday night training. If you want the number and you want a reminder and a text message, you can get all that for free. So I want to encourage you to go look. And for you who are leaders, if you have people that you work with, I work with different special groups, and we do a stair-step training of the foundation of sales and marketing and understanding, so that you have what it takes to be able to make calls, talk to people, know your script, know your branding, know what you're doing, and really have the confidence to understand how to make that pipeline work so that you're working smarter and not harder, but you're working from an educated and effective manner. Remember, the rule is, it's a numbers game. Yes, but it's an effective numbers game, because if you're effective, you don't need to make a lot of numbers happen to affect what your business is about, or what you're about, whether it's sales or recruiting or building a business or starting your own business, or just being a great customer service person in the business you might work. You just want to make sure that you're being the best you can be. So this year, that's my commitment to you, is I'm committed to be there. Show me a little bit back, that you'll make comments. I shared with you in the first live that I did for the new year how to boost your algorithm, and that was a fun video to do, and it had a cute story in there, and hopefully you like that. Again, make comments to things you like. If you need to reach me personally, you can go to Call the Biz Pro on a very private message. You can simply send a secured message to me, and I will respond within 24 hours and get back to you as to how best to help you, your team, or your company. With that, I hope you have a blessed day, and I can't believe I did it early enough that I actually will be able to take my makeup off earlier today. So, all right, this completes this live. Have a great day. You have the power within you to do it. Bye for now.